You are listening to Making It Right with Dr. MF. This episode is sponsored by Money Talks. When you wear Money Talks clothing, you'll feel simply powerful. So pull up for your sweats today. For more info, click our link on Making It Right podcast. Hello. Welcome to Making It Right podcast. I am your host, Dr. MF, and we are going to have a packed house today. We are going to talk about some tricks of the trade that you wouldn't know, that you would never hear about, not unless you was here to hear it, right? Yes. So I'm glad you're here today. So we're going to have Miss Diana Rhodes bless us with her presence today. So hold on to hear more.
Hut 1, Hut 2, Dr. Emma's Right Coach program is just for you. Get your business into shape with our writing coach to help you with your novel, our business coaching to create the plan for your success, or marketing coaching to reach the audience you deserve. Run over to iWriteForYouNow.com for more information now. You can also find us on social media under I Write For You Now.
Hello. I am so glad you are here with us at Making It Right podcast. I am your host, Dr. MF, and I'm glad to hear you or listen to you today. So, we're talking about some things. We're going to have a special guest, Diana Rhodes. She's going to be blessing us with her presence today, and she'll be talking about some things that you may definitely want to know in this writing field. So, let's talk about it. Are you ready to write? You know, we talk about writing, we think about writing, we dabble in writing somewhat, but are you ready to write? You know, it's something that really needs to be addressed because we may be ready to write physically, but not mentally. You know, physically, we may have the computer on hold. We're getting ready to have all our apps downloaded that we need. You know, any applications that we want to buy, we bought them. We even have paper in our printer and have ink in the printer as well. So, physically, we have it down together, but mentally, what are we doing mentally? What are you doing mentally that really needs to be addressed, really needs to be looked at, really needs to be modified? Because when we think about it, we want to make sure that we are ready to write. And being ready to write means that bells are ringing in your head. Yes, they are. Okay, so think about it. What do you have to do mentally to prepare yourself to write? I would say the first thing you need to do is create a schedule. And when I tell you, I have been writing for years. And the only way I am productive on a regular basis is if I have a schedule and I adhere to that schedule. It's easy to think about something and write it, but it becomes work when you cannot think about something, but you still have to write it. You get it? Because regardless of whether you have that block or not, you're still writing down sentences, you're writing down characters, you're creating characters, you're brainstorming. You're doing everything you need for character development, scene development, narration, as well as dialogues. You're writing. If you're not writing about those type of aspects, you may be writing about action. But you're writing and you're thinking about what's next. What can I do to make this story better? It doesn't matter whether you're writing a script or a manuscript or an audiobook or an ebook or even a self-published book. The first thing you have to do is write a schedule down. So at 9 o'clock every night or 9 o'clock every morning, or it doesn't matter, whatever time you decide. But also have a timeline. So make sure that you say to yourself, okay, well, I'm going to write at 9 o'clock, but I'm going to write for an hour. Or if you prefer 2 hours, that's fine. If you prefer 10 minutes, that's fine too. Or you may be a different type of worker and decide that, okay, well, I'm going to write 10 pages. Or I'm going to write 5 pages. Or I'm going to write 1 page. Did you know if you write 1 page a day, you would write a 365-page book? That's huge right about now. Most books is like 200. So you probably be going on 2 books if you was thinking about it. And if you was writing a script, then you're talking about at least about 3 to 4 scripts, depending on how long they are. They could be 2 hours long. It could be an hour long, or maybe a half an hour sitcom. Who knows? But what we have to do, what we must do, is create a schedule. Once you create a schedule, the next thing you should be thinking about doing is creating content, right? So content is the character, it's the dialogue, it's the synopsis, it's the log line, it's a lot of things. It's absolutely a lot. But it keeps you writing, and it keeps you going, and it keeps you moving forward and moving ahead. Okay, so that's one thing that we really didn't discuss too much, and I definitely wanted to bring it to your attention. When you create content, you can deliver that content to yourself on a daily basis, on a consistent basis. You can create your whole product development. And that is to actually take it a step further. You may be developing where your characters are going to be played. You may have to do some research for information like that, but think of that as part of your writing timetable. Because if you're writing about certain characters or certain destinations, you're going to have to find out about those destinations as well as those characteristics. If you're writing about someone or even a group of people, you want to know the traits, the ethnicity, maybe the food, what type of dress. You know, there's a lot that goes along with it when you are developing characters. Especially if you develop characters that do not portray yourself. So that does take some creativity when it comes down to writing. But it's necessary to develop a strong writing ethics, as well as strong writing capabilities. Right. So that works when you are looking to create strong writing structure. Right? Absolutely. Okay, so I just want to let you know there's certain things that you can do to increase your ways of writing on a timeline. So if you are easily distracted, turn off your phone. Okay, I know, I understand that you're not going to turn off your phone. You have children, but there are notifications that you can turn your phone off for everyone else except your kids, or except your partner, or except your friend. It depends. It depends on who you want to keep your phone on for. But just have it on for one or two people the most. And give yourself that time frame just to develop or either research on your product development for your manuscript. Okay, so that's a good tip. So another tip when it comes down to writing, besides you putting everyone else, having them on timeout and not reaching out to them, and that also includes your social media. So that means if you're going to have your family and friends turned off from your phone, you should also turn off your social media so that you will not get notifications during that time. Okay, and it's all done in your phone. It can be done on your computer, but the pop-ups are forever. And if we don't get it under control, it's just too many distractions. Okay, so what I will also tell you is that put on a timer. That way you're timing yourself for that hour. You're not just saying, okay, it's just for an hour and whatever goes. No, if you time yourself for everything you do during the day, you are going to get so much more done during that day. Okay, so think about timing yourself. When you get up in the morning and you're getting yourself ready to start your day. Time yourself when you're eating. Time yourself when you're on the phone with your family and friends. Time yourself. Time yourself when you're having idle conversations. So time yourself when you're on social media, so that you know that once that hour or 15 minutes or whatever time allotment that you have given yourself is up, you are ready to shut it down and go back to work. The discipline in working for yourself is much harder than working for someone else. Only because you know that you're your own boss. So being your own boss really has an advantage, right? There is an advantage, but there's also a disadvantage if you are not disciplined. So we have to be harder on ourselves than if we were at a 9 to 5 and we had to punch a card. Or if we were on a 9 to 5 and we had to type in our time on a computer. Or if we were on a 9 to 5 and we had to sign in at the book. We have to make sure that we are signing in when we're working for ourselves. And when you work for yourself, it's even more difficult sometimes, because a lot of times we won't get paid until we sell that work. So that comes back to creating that content and being on time. So we're going to create that content on time. That's what we're going to do. In order to create that content on time, we have to make sure that we're not playing with our time. We have to make sure that we are creating content every single day, if that's what our schedule is to be. So if we're not creating content every single day, are we creating content every single week, every single month, every single every other day? What is it? But whatever it is, we have to stick to it. So even if we decide that, okay, we're going to stick with it perhaps 30 days. Then every day for 30 days, that's what we do. Or if we decide that we're going to stick it out for 30 days minus the weekends or minus a Saturday, then that's what we're going to have to do. So you ask, or you're thinking, well, Dr. MF, I got to go visit the family. I got an emergency. I got to run here, there, everywhere. Do you have time to eat? Do you have time to shit? Then you have time to write. Okay, just remember that. If you got time for everything else, you have time to do you. Okay, you got to do you anyway. You're going to do you before the day is out. You're going to make sure you eat. You're going to make sure you go to the bathroom. You're going to make sure you bathe yourself, hopefully. You're going to make sure you take care of your hygiene. Make sure you take care of your mental. Because that mental is just as important as your physical. And that mental is what you are willing to do without getting paid. Do you realize how powerful you are? How magnificent you are? How great you are? How good you are? You are doing a job that no one's paying you to do right now. And you're doing it because you know you can do it. There's no doubt in your mind that you can write. You just have to find the time to write. There's no doubt in your mind that you can't develop a product or content or a description of a character. You just have to find time to do just that. And you'll be able to find time once you decide that you are going to make time. You're going to dedicate your time. You're going to be serious about your time and make sure other people are serious about your time as well. So you're going to have to tell your people, I can't talk to you right now between 10 and 10:30 because I'm working. I can't talk to you right now at 12 p.m. because I'm working. I can't talk to you right now because I'm working. Okay, so even if you pick up that phone, doesn't mean you have to talk on that phone. Even though you pick up that video, doesn't mean you have to talk on that video. And if you're invited to Clubhouse, or if you're invited to another social media event, it does not mean that you have to participate. What we have to do and what we're going to do is be more deliberate in what we are doing on a daily basis. So when we pull out that computer, or when we pull out that pad, or when we pull out that notebook, we know that at a certain time of the day, before the day is over, before the week is over, before the month is over, we have written the content we are supposed to write on a timely basis. So we are going to write content on time. That's what we're doing here. All right, so we'll be back. We have more Making It Right podcasts just for you.
Hey, this is Medusa from Medusa's Fortune Cookies. Do you want to know if you're heading in the right direction? Do you want to know if you're with the right partner or when you will find your life partner? If yes, then contact me at medusasfortunecookie@gmail.com. To view my videos, visit Medusa's Fortune Cookies on YouTube and Facebook. Reading starting at $20.
Hello, everybody. My name is Rashida Taper, and you can reach my name of my company is Ross Delights Private Chef, meal prep, as well as small catering, birthday parties, and so forth. And my cuisine is American comfort food as well as international, Italian. I do cakes and cupcakes and cheesecakes. So all delicious foods and savory flavors you want, I'm your girl. You can reach me at 301-383-3670 with my Instagram. This is Instagram.com/Rossi, ROSSI Delight. And your girl will hook you up.
Thank you for coming to Making It Right podcast. We have Diana Rhodes in our presence and blessing us. So thank you so much for being here with us today.
You are more than welcome.
I'm so excited to talk to you. I'm so excited to hear from you because you are a friend of mine. So I'm just feel so good to have you here today.
Well, I'm glad you feel good because I feel good being here.
I'm glad. You know, go through the technical difficulties, but it's okay.
Yeah.
That's technology, so we up on that. But, because I know a person, everything about a person. I'm like, what? I didn't know she was a play right. What? I didn't know about that. Look, you gotta tell me from A to Z and beyond. So, what is the deal? How did the career start? Introduce, because I could jump in, and it's not fair for me to jump in and just go from where we left it, because people don't know you for who you really are and what you really, really do.
Right.
Okay, no, I didn't know all the talent. I knew you had some talent, but I was like, hold up.
I do a little something, a little bit.
No, you do it. Let us start it. Okay, click. Okay, take a picture of that and hang it on the wall. Okay, so, all right, so, Diana Rhodes,
yes.
Please introduce the world to you and who you are and what you are now.
Okay, well, hello world. My name is Diana Rhodes. I am an award-winning screenwriter. I am an author, and I am also a playwright. The last play that I produced was called Troubled Little Angel, and it was a tribute to the late R&B great Phyllis Hyman, which we did in Soho, at the Soho Playhouse in New York City. It's a standing room only. It was a phenomenal presentation. And it was after that production that I decided, you know what? I think I'm going to take it up a notch, and I'm going to start to write for television, and I'm going to move to Atlanta. Because at the time I was living in New Jersey. So, I followed my passion. I love to write. I love to create stories and create characters and generate new worlds. And so it just seemed the natural order of things for me to pack up and move to Atlanta, where it's Black Hollywood out here.
You ain't never lied, girl. Atlanta is doing it.
But then the coup de grace was that COVID hit in 2020, and then it was like, it wasn't so great.
Yeah. When did you move out here?
Well, I moved out here in 2015, and I had a pretty good run in terms of making connections and getting things accomplished and just getting myself situated. I was building my brand, and then COVID hit, and everything stopped, and the industry was severely impacted. because you couldn't create new content. But what happened was, within that time that everybody paused, those of us who write, such as myself, had the time now to dedicate to really focusing on creating new projects, writing new manuscripts, writing new scripts. Sure enough, as you know, things started to dissipate with the pandemic, the demand for content, as you know, just skyrocketed.
It is.
Because everybody sat home watching everything. So, you know.
And you get tired of watching the same thing. You know, how many reruns of, you know, the same show can you actually watch?
Right.
You know, is monotonous. You know, but tell us. Okay, so I know you got your connect, but I know you have your book. I have your book. Please introduce your book to us and let us know about your book.
See it here. Well, it's going to be back here. But
it's all right. It's all right. It's the undeniable truth. So tell us about the undeniable truth.
Ooh, the undeniable truth was a book I was working on several months ago, and I recently had decided to finish it. But it's basically a story about a young girl she starts off in life not so well. You know, she's the daughter of a crackhead. Her father is a drug dealer. Her family is just very disconnected from reality and, you know, very troubled. And she somehow has to manage to figure life out for herself because she doesn't have a hand to guide her. So,
how old is she?
She is in her early teens as she's, you know, telling her story. But as she evolved, you know, she eventually lands a job as a stripper, not doing, you know, what she wanted to do, but what she needed to do, as so many of us do in life when we're trying to make ourselves be okay as we get older. And, you know, it wasn't the best course of action for her, but she made it work for herself. But there was always something in the back of her mind that let her know that there was more to life than what the choices were that she had chosen. And so she goes on a pursuit of what it is that is supposed to be her innate purpose in life. What is it that God has designed her to do? Because what she was doing was obviously not what she was called to do, but it was necessary at the time to survive. And how many of us, you know, in life go through life making decisions so that we can survive, but not necessarily becoming what it is we were called to be. You know? And so that's what this book is about. It's about getting to the undeniable truth. The truth being who you were really called to be by the power that created you.
I like it. So is it a Christian novel?
No, not necessarily, because the character believes in a greater power.
Okay.
A greater power than herself, a greater power than mankind. And I think as a writer, I try not to label too many things spiritually because everybody has different beliefs. So if I speak to the Christian, does that mean I can't speak to the Muslim? If I speak to the, you know what I'm saying? So I want to be able to make broad sweeps so that people from all denominations and all colors, all ethnic groups, all religious beliefs or not, can just plug into the story, the journey.
I like that. I like when you said that because a lot of times people always say, oh, you have to have a niche. You have to target your audience. And you're basically saying you want everyone to enjoy.
Right.
And I literally have that same mind frame that, okay, don't put me in a box.
Right.
I want to write for everyone. I want to talk to everyone. Why not? Why can't it be like that?
Exactly. And you know, in terms of the experience that the character has in the book, what she learns is that we all, as human beings, answer to a higher authority. Now, we all call it something different. You know, some people call it Buddha, some people call it Allah, some people call it God, but we all answer to something greater than ourselves. And it's up to us individually to take that journey to identify with that greater call, that greater entity. And that's pretty much what this book is about. It's about her personal journey to get to her personal best.
That is beautiful. I think people are going to love that book. because I actually gave it to one of my daughters and they like it. So I'm quite sure other people will like it. Yeah, absolutely. You know I gotta support you, sis. You know I gotta support you. Real talk. We support each other. This is what it's all about. So I'm just so excited to share your journey. Okay, because I know the journey now. I know the journey. I was like, what? Oh, okay. But
Yes,
please share the journey with everyone else. What was your first writing project? Was it the play or was it the screenwriter or was it the novel? Which was definitely, was it an essay?
Wow. It was the plays. I was really into the plays at one point. But I was, I had dual careers. For most of my adult life, I have operated within dual careers. So by day, I was an administrative assistant for the Orange School of Education, the Orange Board of Education. But by night, I was a playwright, and I was producing shows on the weekend, and it was a lot, but I felt like I needed to do it. And so that eventually evolved, and then when I moved to Atlanta, I worked at People TV, and that's in downtown, and got some skill sets in terms of getting behind the camera and working the rights and stuff. So, I progressed. And so what I did not foresee was being able to write movies. That I didn't foresee. I was just content to produce for television, do a couple shows. But as things evolved, I met some people in the industry, one of which whom you know, Joyce Licorice from Dream Empire Films. And she and I collaborated on some works. And ironically, one of the projects that we did collaborate on kind of took off, so much so that it built enough momentum to catch the attention of a production company in France. And so as a result of that, the Lost Locket project is now going to be a movie in the very near future. So
okay, wait a minute. I didn't know. Wait a minute. Hold the train. Okay, wait a minute. All right, because I've been working with y'all in the back end of this, and I did not know the update. Okay. So wait. Lost Locket is finally getting picked up.
The Lost Locket is currently in pre-production, so there's some things that we have to do preliminarily to get it off the ground. So those things are in place. So it's like a snowball, it just keeps rolling and rolling and rolling until it gets bigger. And it has definitely built a lot of momentum. I'm really proud of the momentum that it has built. And then there are other projects that I'm working on. I have another movie that I'm working on with Lawrence Terrell Productions called One Single Step. Yeah. So that's good.
God is good all day. All day, every day. All day, every day. Mm-hmm. So wait a minute, Lawrence Terrell. So what are you doing, Lawrence Terrell?
We are co-producing The Lost Locket. I'm sorry, I said Lost Locket. We are co-producing One Single Step.
Single Step?
Yeah, that's the piece that I wrote. That's a project for television.
Okay, so it's a TV series or is it a movie?
Yes, it is. It is a TV series. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So when can we see that coming?
And where does it go? Somebody picks it up.
Oh, okay, I got it.
We're still in the production phase, and then after
okay. So let me ask you what you're doing. Let's go back.
Stop it.
Okay, so what you're doing is because I know Dream Empire, they do production, right? So they do the whole gamut. Write and produce. So you're doing the production with Lawrence Terrell. Mm-hmm. So so after the production, because what we're doing right now, we're talking about the business. Right. A lot of people don't realize, okay, I write all day and I could just get myself produced, but it doesn't work that way.
No, there are steps. There are steps and very key details that you need to have in place before you do any of the other stuff.
So tell us the steps. Please share that.
Okay, well, one of the things you want to do is after you do your writing, you want to make sure you get your project registered with the WGA, and you want to get it copywritten. And then I suggest, because I'm a screenwriter, I would suggest putting it out there and start accumulating some laurels, which are awards from different contests. I do a lot of screenwriting contests, and that's very instrumental in getting your name out there. And it's good for getting feedback as well, because you know, sometimes we get so hung up on our projects, and you know, Erykah Badu says, you know, I'm an artist, I'm sensitive about my, you know.
Right.
But I say that to say, as an artist sometimes, or creative, you can really believe that something is so good, and then you put it out there and find out from other people it's missing some stuff, you know, and that's feedback that you need. You need creative feedback, because that's what makes you better. That's what helps you to grow. So I would wholeheartedly tell people to invest in those film festivals and get some feedback and get some accolades under your belt. And then when you get those accolades under your belt for your project, then it's much more appealing to shop around after that. And then in terms of shopping it around, you want to know your demographics. You know, there are some projects that don't appeal to BET, so it wouldn't make sense to shop it to them. You know, like if you have something about aquatic adventures, well, BET doesn't do that, so why would you shop it there? But Discovery does, so you would shop that. You would shop that particular project there, and so forth and so on. So you have to do your homework. You have to do a lot of homework, and you have to know what it is you want, and you have to know who to shop it to get it.
Yeah, that's the question that's playing in my mind. Okay, so you shop it, and I literally have a book. I got to go through this book right now. It's called The Book of Georgia Film. Can you see it?
Yes, I can see it.
The Book of Georgia Film and Television Production.
Yes.
You know, so again, a whole bunch of producers and directors in there. But how do you know exactly? I know you know what genre and what demographic, but who are the people that you have to connect to?
So usually you want to look for people in the acquisitions department of a particular network. So, you know, and just about all of them have one. So I would suggest using your social media platform, because they are very instrumental in connecting you to those, or allowing you to connect to those people. LinkedIn is a very good source in terms of finding those people. You know, that's one of the platforms that I use.
Now, this is a real 411, people.
Yeah.
Take this too hard.
Absolutely.
Let's go to school, because Diana not only does this, but she teaches.
Yeah, I do teach screenwriting.
Absolutely. So I know exactly, you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I just want to
but you know what? I had to learn it from someone else too. And so
absolutely, but we all do. We all do.
Yeah.
You know, and I tell people this all the time. The writers are the teachers, because you're going to read what they have written and learn from it.
Exactly. Yeah. Absolutely.
So, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And we have to.
And I love to learn. I love to learn, and
are you a lifelong learner?
Absolutely. That was some of the best advice I was given as a young girl. Anything that you can learn, learn it. They didn't necessarily say do it, but learn it. Learn what you can. And the reason being is because you will make yourself more marketable. You will make yourself more knowledgeable. Okay? And so those are things that, you know, are lifelong assets as you get older. You know, you want to know things. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to be in the know all the time, but you want to know things so that you can, you know, pull things out of a hat if you need to one day.
Okay, so how long do you think it's going to take for you to do the production of your TV series? And how does that work? Because are you doing one episode? I know you're not running the whole episode. So
right now we're just
filming the pilot.
Right now we're just shooting the pilot, right?
Okay,
yeah.
I got
And so, again, I would say to people who are just starting out, you know, start out with your pilot, and that's something that you basically have in your repertoire to let people know, hey, this is what we're able to do. This is the concept. This is what it looks like. And the difference between having a written script versus a actual movie itself is big. You know, it sometimes makes the difference between whether someone will entertain you at all or not.
let me ask you a question. Why wouldn't you just go buy a trailer? Why not just do a trailer, which is, 3 minutes?
Because I think, and this is my personal opinion, I think investment-wise, the money that you would spend for a trailer, you might as well just go full throttle and complete the project in its entirety. Because you're going to have to come back and do it anyway if they like it. So it just makes sense to go out there and get it done. Get it done and have it, and then you can shop it.
Okay, so if you get the whole thing done, that means you're in charge of director, you're in charge of casting.
You don't necessarily have to be. You don't necessarily have to be.
So
you can be.
But
for some people, that's their comfort zone. For others, it is not. So you have to know your comfort zone. Like in this instance, and for one single step, I will be training as an assistant director. I have directed stage plays, but I have never directed behind, the cameras. So there's some things that I still need to learn, and so I'll be doing that at this juncture. But then moving forward, as I get my skill set in place and I feel more comfortable in that setting, then I will take on the responsibility to do that. And, I have the privilege of having people, mentor me, and I can shadow people. So again, I can teach some things, but then there are other things I am all too willing to learn so that I can be better at my craft.
I got you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to be under the wheelhouse that you're supposed to do. Like we all have talent. Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I wouldn't take on a responsibility that's not in my skill set comfortably. Like for me, it's not an ego thing. I don't need to say I'm in charge. It's my show. This is how it's gonna go. That's not what it's about.
Right, it's more of a teamwork.
Right, it's about teamwork. Thankfully, I have somebody within Lawrence Terrell who is versed in, directing and doing other things that I am not well versed in. And so our alliance allows us to be able to move the project forward.
That's great. Okay, so once this is done, how long does it take to produce a pilot? How long will it take you?
It depends. It depends on the script, and it depends on a couple of other factors. But ideally, you want to just, map out your schedule, know what you're working with in terms of people's availability, and, just coordinate. Pre-planning is essential. Pre-planning is very essential.
So where is it going to be located at? Where's the location
we are going to be filming in Atlanta. The actual locations are to be announced to you.
Oh, nice. I'm loving it. I am loving it. Okay. So this is wonderful news to me. So once you actually have it all mapped out, you have it produced, who are you going to send it to?
Well, there are several platforms we are looking at. One of which is BET. Another is All Black Television. So we have some options. And it's just a matter of, having a meeting and seeing, again, which platform this particular project better serves.
Okay, so this is going under you're going in as an independent producer?
Yes.
Independent producer. Now, would you rather be an independent producer, or would you rather
I think
sell the project?
Yeah. I think I'd like to be an independent producer.
So what's the difference
between
being an independent producer and just selling the project or selling the rights to the pilot?
When you're independent anything, you do things the way you want it to be.
That's true. Independently. Okay, I think
it's the word independent.
Independent, absolutely. Let Beyonce say it, okay?
Absolutely. I mean, I think we live in such a wonderful time that now, we don't have to aspire to work for any company. If we want our information and our communications and our projects and content to come out and sound a certain way, we make it happen. There's no reason to, to sell off our goods.
I would say one reason. I would give one reason, if I may. I would say that the reason could be the finance of it all. Because when you are independent, you have to come up with the budget.
Yes, that's true.
How do you deal with the budget?
You raise funds. That's where crowdfunding comes in, and different alliances, different connections, different producers, collaboration. So there's a myriad of things that you can do to make it happen. You just have to see what works for you, what fits for you, what fits for your situation, because everybody's situation is different.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. I'm happy. I'm just happy. I'm looking forward to it. Okay, I'm gonna be checking for it. I'm gonna be texting you on it.
Okay.
Absolutely. So how do you see yourself? What do you see yourself doing to move it forward? How can you help someone else get to where you want to go? And because I know it's so many aspiring writers, aspiring playwrights, aspiring screenwriters, and you can help them all because you have experience in all these different fields in writing.
Yeah. The first thing I would tell you to do is something that I'm still doing, and that is build your portfolio. And by that, I mean write until you can't write no more. Write about different subjects, write about different topics, create a diverse portfolio for yourself. And the reason I say that is because there are so many different demands, and you want to be able to meet as many as possible. Of course, find your niche, find what you're comfortable with. If you like writing romantic stories, then fine, do that. But have a plethora of them so that you can be able to answer the call when it comes, because the call is coming. They always need content, and there's always a new platform that's looking for somebody with dynamic writing capabilities. You want to be able to answer the call when it comes. A lot of it is about just being ready. Be ready when they say, hey, we need a script that only has 3 locations and 2 characters. Hey, I got that. Be ready when they say, hey, we need a horror film in time for the Halloween season. Hey, I got that. Be ready. Have your projects ready. Have them lined up. Create an attractive portfolio. I would say generate a website dedicated to all of your creations, and just have everything ready so that if you meet that person who is in acquisitions, and is able to make some things happen for you, everything is streamlined and seamless. All they have to do is click one button and they can see what you have to offer.
I like that. I like you saying that because, it really is hard when you look for writers and you look on their website and you don't see their writing. So that content really has to start from the home base. Okay, like it's that one-stop shop. Like okay, click. You're like, oh, that's what she writes, and that different samples of the writing.
And I have that with my new company, Pinky Bell Productions, which I'm launching.
What? Pinky Bell Productions. I gotta write this down.
I am actually still building my website, and I'm trying to get it finished by the end of next month so that I can launch it by the beginning of next year. So I'm really excited about it. The only person who's really seen it thus far is Lawrence Terrell himself, and he's very pleased with it. So, I'm strategizing as well. I'm doing what I gotta do.
That's nice. Wait a minute. Let's go back, because I didn't read that. I didn't read about Pinky Bell Productions. Okay, yes. So you have a production company that you're creating for yourself.
Yeah, I already have Diana Rhodes Productions. That's already an LLC, but that particular company is just geared toward me working with other screenwriters, my podcasting, and my other writing assignments. I use it for that. But Pinky Bell Productions is solely for the purpose of moving my content, moving all the projects that I have created into the next level, which is, on a platform like BET or whatever.
Nice. I love it. I didn't know you had a podcast.
You know what? I had.
Ooh, we talking now, girl. I didn't know you had a podcast. What's the name of your podcast?
Oh, I had one called God, I forgot what I called it, but it was called Hidden Battles. And I actually had to stop because I had to move back to Jersey and take care of my dad. But I am going to pick it back up later on, most likely next year. I'm trying to do a huge launch of all my stuff next year. I'm just excited about all the possibilities.
I'm excited for you. You have a lot going on.
Yes.
You really do. But I know for a fact that you're going to get it all done. I'm just here for it.
Yes, so, you are.
Yeah, but them writing rooms come in, like, oh, okay, I know. I'm going to call Dr. MS. She got me. I got you.
We got to work on something. You and I have to collaborate on something. Absolutely. I am so here for it. I'm trying to keep up because, you know, your mind is a little out there.
Yeah, you already read my work. You like, what? For real? I'm like, look, I'm like 50 Cent. I'm not talking fast. You just got to keep up. It's all good. Diana, thank you for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
Make sure you call me.
I will.
You text me. You just hit me on it on social media because, you know, I just messaged you. I don't know. I'm like, friends on Facebook, but here click. Friends now.
Yes.
All right, girl. But thank you, Diana Rhodes, for blessing us with your presence.
Absolutely.
We are here for everything. So, listen, people, when she blow up, but she already blew up. She already did. We just need to catch up. We need to catch up and follow you. Tell us how we can follow you. Let them know how you get your book, how to get your screen, the playwright, everything.
Okay, well, I have my website, Diana Rhodes Productions. Feel free to reach out to me there. I'm on Instagram, on Facebook. I have my book on Amazon, The Undeniable Truth. And that's pretty much it, you know. And you can always reach out to Nicole, and she can hit me up if you need some help with your screenwriting. I'm more than available to help and more than willing to help. And I'm always available when somebody needs mentorship or, you know, just general guidance. I've helped people literally from around the world. I have some really great friends on LinkedIn that still check in and like, you know, hey, thanks for helping me with this, that, and the third. So that means a lot to me. So again, you know, I understand the struggle as a screenwriter. So
absolutely, you are coaching without the title. Yeah, so we thank you for that. We thank you for that, and it needs to be done. We all need to just lift each other up. So I appreciate it so much. Woo, we gotta do lunch.
Yes, we do.
We definitely gotta do lunch. Absolutely, we'll talk so much sooner than this. But thank you so much, Diana.
You're welcome.
Congratulations again.
Thank you, dear.
All right, and we'll talk some more. Take care.
Okay, take care.
All right, bye-bye.
Now Video Animation Services has got all your designing needs covered. Yes, graphic designing, 2D animation, website designing, app development and all digital marketing services. And all these at super affordable rates. Get Canva Pro for 3 years at just $50. So hurry up, contact Mitesh Shah +91 94267 22224 or visit our website www.video-animation-service.com.
Thank you once again for making it right with Dr. MF. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.